Ohio. Doing another daily vlog till CincyCon for the deep between. Don't really have script or any kind of plan for today. Nothing really to show off. No gameplay stuff or anything like that. I'll probably have something better put together tomorrow. Tuesdays are kind of tricky for me. I have a pretty good sized family, and I have one daughter that has volleyball practice on Tuesdays, and I help coach my son's basketball team on Tuesdays. So it's one of those days it's tight on time. But I made the commitment to do a vlog a day, and didn't really know what I would be talking about. Actually, I already kicked the camera on a couple times and just looked at it, or started and fumbled for a minute. But eventually thought, well, I can talk about exactly that, my busy life, and how that helped lead me to getting into one-page rules and Grimdark Future, which is a little bit where the Grimdark Ohio came from. Originally, it was gonna just be doing a channel to kind of promote bat reps, gameplay, armies, 3D print armies from different STL creators for Grimdark Future from One Page Rules. And well, one thing led to another. I think I've gone over this a couple times, but basically decided, hey, I've done a little bit of game design before, tried my hand at it. I'm going to make it work this time. And part of the reason for it is just I have a busy life, and it's really hard to get the hobby time and to get the games in. I'm to the point with the game now where the core mechanisms of the game plays, it feels really good. It feels well balanced for the things that have had a lot of play testing. So that lets me know that kind of the base core of the game is good and strong. It's just how much push and pull can I do with variety of factions and introducing little tweaks, changes, and rules before things start to fall apart. So far, not too bad, but yeah, I even find myself with the game that I am designing, saying to myself, okay, is this too long? Is this too much of a slog? One of the things as a hobbyist that I've never enjoyed, and a lot of people don't like in general, is feel bad moments where a model that you've worked hard on, something like you've been painting this guy for a couple days, or if you're way more into high end detailed showpieces, maybe a couple weeks or something, and it just gets shot off the board super fast. It gets wrecked turn one. You never get to do anything with it. It's a feel bad, and it's something that a lot of people don't like. A lot of games have tried to find different mechanics to complement or to combat that. I think like one that comes to mind is Marvel Crisis Protocol, game I love very much, really enjoyed when I played it a lot more. I haven't played it in a while, but characters get knocked over basically, and then you flip their card, and they have the second side of the card. And it's a great game mechanic because it fits the theme of superheroes. The superhero gets knocked down, they get back up. And Monster Apocalypse did something very similar from Privateer Press, where your monsters would have like I think they're called ultras or something like that form, and you can go into those powered forms on your own, or when they lost health, they would go into this kind of like, super berserk form, like when Godzilla gets, pissed off and he, starts glowing and shoots the cool fire, right? Um, but those are all mechanics to try to mitigate something um, that the more I think about, like, is it even needed? And what I mean is, if the game plays sufficiently fast, and part of the issue with those feel bad moments is like, let's say in a game of say whatever 40K, those games can last an hour and a half to several hours, and when your really nice piece gets obliterated turn one, you're going to sit there for the rest of what is potentially your entire gaming session or your one day to play and not get to play with your toy, right? Like we're let's call it what it is. We're a bunch of adults that want to play with cool war dollies, right? Like for whatever reason, we never let go of action figures and big robots and cool army guys and stuff. So it's the hobby. It's what we like to do, and so we want to play with our stuff. And the more I thought about it, I was like, well, if a game was short enough, it gives you the full miniatures game feel. It's a skirmish game, so we're not talking. You're not spending time moving, dozens of models. Um, but is it okay if there's a decent amount of lethality? So that's kind of one of the last, I don't want to say design hurdles that I'm struggling with the game. And really looking forward to CincyCon to see some of the reaction of people and how they feel about it. Because I think right now the direction I'm leaning, depending on feedback, right, obviously, but I think the direction I'm leaning is reducing the rounds of the game by one to just a 3-round game. It also, at least in my mind, opens up design space for, like think about like in chess, you always have openers, so there's those initial first few turns of a game of chess where you're you're playing a strategy that you came in expecting to play, or reacting to what you see your opponent's opener being, like, okay, I know this gambit, or I know this strategy, and this is how I typically counteract that. And then there's kind of like this mid game uh, where that starts to go out the window, and you're just focusing on your win condition, which if we're going to continue with the example of chess, is to checkmate your opponent, um, and then just kind of following an arc. There's like that finale. There are mechanics that I already had in the game that really complement the last turn, and the more I thought about it, if there wasn't enough models on the board because of attrition over several turns, uh, does that make that thing work as well? Specifically, tactics cards. I think I've mentioned it in one of the videos. Uh, they're early on. They won't be a thing at CincyCon that I'll be showing off. They'll be play tested more heavily very soon. But yeah, I think I really like the idea of just condensing the game. A similar thing for me, I got into League of Legends MOBAs uh, when I started not having time because of kids to play MMOs. Because they, for me at least, represented everything I loved about the MMO. So there was like this grind for loot, so having a MOBA, you're killing creeps, creep slaying, whatever you want to refer to it, and minions, League of Legends. But and you do that to earn resources to work towards certain gear, and then you and your team will fight, the dragon or whatever have you, these little mini bosses, and have like these little, almost like small instanced, and there's this constant push pull because the other team's doing the same thing, and there's PvP. And me, at least when I played MMOs, I was never a big raid person. I really enjoyed just the grind of bringing a character up to power, and then I really enjoyed Arena and Battlegrounds, right, and World of Warcraft specifically. So for me, MOBAs condensed everything I loved about the MMO into a smaller, more reasonable time frame. In 20 to 30 minutes, I could do all the things that I used to like to do on an MMO in a MOBA. So I'm kind of approaching the game from that perspective. And maybe it even gets condensed enough to where a best of three is a reasonable thing. And then say like an hour and a half or something like that, 30 to 45-minute games. Is that reasonable? Is that the direction it's going that it should go? Because again, I'm approaching this as a middle-aged guy with responsibilities at work and everything else, and I carve what time I can for my hobby, but to have game systems that require hours of time, there's plenty of people out there that more power to you, but I just don't have it. And I love the hobby. I love painting. I love playing. I love getting out and meeting people and laughing and just playing make believe. And I want to be able to do that without consuming an entire day, or the better part of a day. So that's where kind of the main part of the design of the game's coming from. It's kind of a bit of a rant video, but it's explaining the why I'm decided to pursue this, and the why and the what I'm looking for in the design of the game. So yeah, hopefully this blog provides something interesting, and you choose to tune in and follow. I'm gonna keep doing these until CincyCon. Probably do some off the cuff stuff, from my phone while I'm there. Uh, Maybe do some like kind of showing off some play testing and just people I meet and things like that, and how things go, how things are going with it. Feedback. One thing that I have made a decision about feedback is, I'm gonna have some just plain note cards for people to leave feedback, and made the decision that we'll have to leave at least one negative thing. You can leave as many pros, positives as you want, but I refuse to take your feedback if you don't put at least one negative thing, because you really have to put it through the paces. You have to kind of break it, and when you're testing something, you don't want to, the internet has a habit of finding and exploiting things, right? Net decking in the case of like card games and things like that, meta building. And while hopefully that's not the direction that this is going, as a game, as a thing, uh, I hope that at least I can somewhat mitigate that. But who knows? I think I remember there was a video I saw pretty recently. I've never played BattleTech, so validity of me parroting this or repeating it, I can't say. But they talked about it's an extremely unbalanced game, but the community kind of balances it to its own supplements, because there's supplements and different timelines and different, builds and whatever, with the different mechs. So hopefully it's not something like that where, the community has to kind of come in and sort of fix or uh, gate off certain things, but I do hope that at the very least we can get something close to a decently balanced game. Because also, let's be honest, nobody truly wants a balanced game that's in the hobby. If you do, you're kind of lying to yourself, and you probably just need to just go play chess. It's a very balanced game. It's been around for forever, right? If you really just wanted to battle wits with other people in a very balanced situation, then you go play chess. There's some fun to breaking the game a bit and coming up with things that other people haven't come up with, or trying things that you think are neat or cool. So again, a bit of a rant video, but yeah, just sharing some of my thoughts on why I'm doing what I'm doing. So till tomorrow.